year of the Manifesting Beloved Community Art Show. And I have to say, it's pretty spectacular. So I'm going to start off with a few thank yous. First, to our staff member, Kimberly DeCoachell, who I'm sure many of you are working with. She does a great job for us. For our exhibition committee, if you would raise your hand if you're on our exhibition committee. Thank you so much. These are volunteers and assist us with every show. Also, we have a number of student volunteers here. If you want to raise your hands. Many of them are familiar faces. They keep coming back, so I guess they like us. And finally, to our artists who are here tonight, thank you all. Of course, we wouldn't have a show if it weren't for you. So, you know, this show came together because Ryan Ponder, who is the founder of Art Against Racism, and I started working together locally on his project that he did a few years back, Monument Movement. I always forget the third one. Memory, thank you. And that was a really wonderful project, and we were really honored to be a part of it. And so as these things do, we said, okay, now what's next? What can we do together? And we came up with the concept for this show. The idea is based on a concept that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Promoted about beloved community, a place where everyone is welcome, where there is equality, where there is social justice, where there is a healed planet, and we could go on and on. All of the things that we wish for so that we can all thrive together in community. And so we call it, well, let's work towards manifesting that. You know, that's so we put on that word manifesting. Like, how can we bring that about? How can we imagine it and make it so? And who better to do that than artists, our visionaries and our speakers of truth. So we put the call out, and you know, we expected to see some visions of that utopia, you know, but actually what we got were some of that, but also a lot of processing of what you need to do in order to get to that space, the work that still needs to be done, and the injustices that still exist. So that was interesting for us, and you know, as we will see, one of the things that we do in this space is to, you know, share the stage and to promote other voices and to hear from our artists. So all of our artists are going to go around the room and stand in front of their works and talk to us about what they were thinking and expressing through their work. And actually, for me, it's in that moment where we are going to be manifesting this beloved community. It's really those moments when we're sharing art together, we're talking about it, and we're listening and hearing is, I think, a great expression of manifesting the beloved community.
Well, first of all, I'd like to start by saying thank you to Island and Kimberly for being such great partners in creating this exhibit. Thanks to Citizens Bank. Did you thank them?
No, I didn't. Thank you.
And to the New Jersey Arts and Culture Renewal Fund for its support of all of Art Against Racism's activities. Thank you to our artists and the supporters of the arts. Thank you to Dr. Leslie King-Hammond, our esteemed juror. Now, Leslie King-Hammond is an American artist herself, a curator and art historian who is the founding director of the Center for Race and Culture at the Maryland Institute College of Art, where she is also Graduate Dean Emeritus. More information can be found on Wikipedia. I just copy-pasted that. But most important is what Dr. Hammond said, I think, about curating this wonderful exhibition. And she, of course, sends her regards. She's working on 2 projects right now. One, on Joyce Scott. Some of you might be familiar with Joyce Scott, the multimedia artist. But she says about you guys, I tried to pick the most provocative, compelling, inspired, and different points of view so that the artists had representation. So not only the artists, but also the people coming to see the exhibition will have an engaged time and look at the ways in which these artists interpreted their beloved community. Everybody had a different voice and a different approach in terms of both medium and content. It was a very refreshing experience to jury the show because of the richness of the applications. So this show just seems to get better and more engaging each year. As you told me, this is our 3rd year.
This represents how we as Black men feel every day. It represents sort of looking up to the sky innocently. We don't have to have anything on us, that could be deemed as a weapon, so he doesn't have anything on. And there's always a target. From, behind us, wherever. The flag represents, with the blood of America, having blood on its hands. So, this is just, I figured this would be perfect for Art Against Racism. I think every brown man in here can relate. Am I right? So that sort of explains my piece in a minute. I don't know if you want, but it's open season, and that's how we feel. We don't have to be outside. We can be at home, anywhere, but it's open season. Thank you.
My sculpture here is entitled Ahmaud Arbery, Tyree Nichols, and Sandra Bland. It's a memorial. And I noticed when I was researching, I'm a little emotional. When I was researching these 3 individuals, the photographs, they all had the most beautiful smile. And they were happy and in the prime of their lives. So it's a difficult thing for an artist, such as myself, or this artist anyway, to do a memorial for individuals who should still be alive. Last year I had the big honor of also doing portraits in the spirit of Say Their Names: George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Trayvon Martin. Unfortunately, the individuals continue to be coming, people that need to be memorialized. When is it going to stop? Ahmaud out on a run in the afternoon, hunted down. Tyree, traffic stop, routine traffic stop. Sandra Bland saying they should be here. So, as an artist, what can I do? And I thought, I can do their memorial and I can say their name. Ahmaud Arbery, Tyree Nichols, Sandra Bland. My privilege, my honor to be here and to be able to present. Thank you.
I just want to say, tonight you guys are favored. You see the little boy that is in this painting? Okay. That's that little boy in the black standing in the background. First, I wanted to tell the people who are here who were worried about being cougars tonight, please do not blame me, because clearly I'm a leopard tonight, okay? So this is my artwork. I will tell a little brief story about it. I did not really start formally doing my artwork until I was 55. I started actually when I was 3, and I drew a whale on my mother's bathroom wall, and she was not too pleased. But that should have given her a clue which direction I was headed. So at 55, I was well into my career of teaching, fell down a flight of steps, broke my back in 2 places, and I got a condition called fibromyalgia. Had lost my job, became suicidal because I was like, I did all this schooling, I did all this stuff, and here I am, I can't do anything. And I had, I'm going to say an epiphany because I don't want to go across anybody's religious beliefs, but I had an epiphany that what I was supposed to do was go back and do my artwork. And this is really, believe it or not, one of my first pieces. Everybody says, what is up with that lady's hat in the picture? And I stole it. I'm going to be honest, I stole it. Most people have seen the movie The Wiz. Have you ever seen that movie? I won't sing for you, When I go home, I think.
I thought you said okay.
Anyway, I stole that picture from one of the famous female, Lena Horne. And I said, if I was thinking about what the universe would look like, it would look like her. And I believe that some of the most important things in life happen in the dark. And that is the reason behind this picture called Dark Matters. The scientific community says most of the world, you cannot see it. It happens in the dark. And I am a believer that many good things come out of the dark, including excellence. Well, I won't get into excellence. But I just want to say that I want to thank Ron for giving many of our artists an opportunity to show their work in a fine situation. And if someone has to be the conduit, we are the vessels, but somebody has to be a conduit. And he didn't just take his artwork, because he has really fabulous artwork, but he has allowed...
You have another 20 minutes now.
I just want to thank him and you for making what we do important. Because if you don't come and see it, a lot of times it's not important. So my applause goes to you. And thank you for enjoying my work, Dark Matters. And I will also be appearing, where's the other place now?
Monroe Township Library.
Monroe Township Library, okay, so come out there too. And thank you. Again, remember, I'm the leopard, not the cougar.
I worked in Africa for many years in different countries, and I clearly love the visual treat that is Africa. The sense of community and the joy of dressing in multiple colors and patterns and getting together as a community is very, very vital to my experience there. I paint large because the pieces represent a moment in time, and I feel like I can step into them and be transported back. I also don't like to speak about my paintings. I think that paintings or visual artwork should speak in a visual way, and so I won't say any more about it. Thank you.
I am very honored to be here, and I want to thank Reinhold for giving us the leeway to be able to exhibit our treasures.
And the West Windsor Arts Council too.
And the West Windsor Arts Council. Thank you so much. This is the second year that I've been exhibiting here, and it's quite an honor. And my piece is shadow work. And it's so interesting because it kind of aligns with Nancy's and the first piece that showcases without the darkness, we can't see the light. So this piece is pretty much symbolizing someone doing shadow work and facing their deepest, darkest emotions. And she pretty much is done with them, and she's burying all these emotions. So if you haven't seen it, I invite you to, when you have a chance, to just look. And I like to tell a story, And thank you once again for allowing me to hold space for my passion.
So the theme, it took me some time to think of what I should paint. And then I started to just play colors and shapes and lines, and slowly the things started to appear. So then I started to see some, actually I started with some flowers, actually, circles, some petals, and then, some shapes, and it could be anything. But then, and after some time, I just realized that there are faces coming. I didn't paint by intention of being a face. One of my friends showed me there the eyes, nose, and mouth. And then it took me some time to do layers of colors and textures and lines. It is, to me, something from the dark, there's still a hope. When there's some, from after the sadness, the happiness comes. So I'm trying to express that there are, from the darkness, hope, light, life can come, flowers can come, and so we can always hope for better.
So this is my piece. The name of it is Ballerina. Ballerina is a young African-American woman. She is strong, she's goal-oriented, and very self-confident. And her life is determined not by the adversity that she encounters in it, but is determined by her hard work and dedication. And she's beautiful, and I think her beauty comes from her looks, but also from her attitude and from her grace. And this is a fictional character, but for real, it was inspired by two real characters, two African-American women that made a deep impression on me. So one of them was a model. I love her look, exotic look, but I also admire her attitude and expressed to her body language. So I was impressed by her. I thought it was beautiful and very paintable. I wanted to paint her. The other character was Misty Copeland. She was actually ballerina, and she danced for American Ballet Theater in New York City. I had the pleasure to see her many years ago dancing the leading role of Juliet for Romeo and Juliet ballet, and she was absolutely marvelous. She was one of the biggest talent that this ballet ever had, one of the youngest and most talented. So, as I said, I wanted to paint these characters. It's fused into one. It's a fusion of these two characters. And they inspired me to make this painting, but they also inspired me on more personal level, because they teach me, I hope that they teach you as well, that it's good to work hard, it's good to aim high and believe in yourself. And that's the story behind this painting. Thank you.
Close to my piece, it has 4 lines of text written into it, which say, "The anguish of loss does not justify murdering innocents in retaliation." This piece was motivated by the events in Israel and Gaza this autumn. But for me at least, it has much wider implication for the whole human community. I grew up in a family that, though it wasn't Jewish, was very supportive of Israel and saw Israel after the Second World War as a positive development in the world. But the idea that that community would do to another what was done to it by the Nazis was so abhorrent to me that this just kind of came out. The piece itself, if anyone is interested, is a monoprint, and it's a very simple technique, no press, where you just lay paper over an inked up plate and draw. The writing, therefore, all has to be done backwards, which explains the backwards G in English, because sometimes you forget which way the letters go. And if anyone's curious about the process, I'll be glad to answer questions later or whatever. I guess the only other thing I can think of to say is that I'm not by nature a figurative artist. I look at much of the work that is figurative. I look at the work that is figurative in this show, and I am in awe of the ability that and the expressive potential that it realizes. But my brain doesn't work that way. So this is my attempt to say what I needed to say through other means. And that's pretty much it.
So here what I'm showing is called the Till the Last Drop. So they're squeezing the blood out of Africa. They're squeezing all the mineral resources and build their country. Whilst they leave the natives. That's why you have the structures here for the ghettos. Then we have the big cities right here. And it's all built from the natural resources and the mineral resources. You have the people here, demonstrators looking helpless and feel hopeless. Because although they are the majority, they don't have the power, military power, the policing power, the political power to fight the racist or the apartheid government. They are also fighting to their last drop, sacrificing their blood. Steve Biko, Desmond Tutu, Mandela, they were all fighting for the same cause till they won their independence. Originally from West Africa, Ghana, West Africa. Ended up at Johnson Atelier to specialize in the processes for broadcasting. And just one of my pieces I developed myself from the beginning to the end. I'm basically a socio-economic political artist. I've been doing a lot of work based on socio-economic political, based on human experience or historic events as my source of inspiration. And this particular piece I call Expulsion is based on various events or situations around the world where people, for economic reasons, move from one country or one continent to the other to seek prosperity. So this is one of the examples of the persistence or the continuity of the racial situation. Thank you.
It's a gift from my granddaughter after she participated in church activity. Rather than talk about it, I'm going to read to you what she texted me last night when I asked her about her memories of it. I met Miss Bessie. It's called Miss Bessie Gets a New Home. I met Miss Bessie through AOSP, APEX, that's in North Carolina, Outreach Service Project, where local high school students spend a week of their summer providing home repairs free of charge to community residents who need it. There are teams which comprise about 10 students and 2 leaders who have experience with repairs, building, tools, etc. My team was assigned to Miss Bessie's house, and she was in her 90s at the time. She ate lunch with us every day and told us stories of her childhood growing up in the very house we were sitting in. She was extremely grateful for the work we were doing for her. We patched up leaky windows, repaired some flooring, gave her new kitchen cabinets, and fixed up her front porch, as seen in this photo. So this project had great meaning for these teenagers, and I'm proud to have made a picture based on the photo she took. Thank you so much for coming and listening.
It's based on a photograph that appeared in the Washington Post around October 14th, in other words, 1 week after the attack in Israel, and we'll get into that, but this was in the early days. We were all still confused, and everything was, the emotions were raw, and to me, this was a deconstructionist community. Everything that these people had worked for many, many years, where is it? What happened? Why? And what comes next? A lot has happened since then. One thing that struck me about this photo, among all this sadness and the sorrow and the utter devastation, if you look at the lower right-hand corner, here's the emergency care worker, and here is an untouched painting or poster, but to me it's a painting. Perhaps on the wall of the house or a public building, we don't know. And it kind of offers a shred of hope. Not everything has been destroyed. So we look to the future, and hopefully there'll be resolution coming very soon. Thank you.
This piece is called Old Growth Forests, and I'm a huge ecology nerd. Old growth forests are some of the most colorful and diverse ecosystems on planet Earth. They're unfortunately very threatened due to construction and development, pollution, and global warming. But they're really, really tremendously important ecosystems. The diversity of life there is amazing. And I will leave you with one fact about the forest that I find really beautiful, and it's that if a tree in the forest is injured or is sick, it sends out a warning to those surrounding it through an underground network of roots. And in return, the healthy trees in the forest send nutrients and sustenance to the injured or sick tree. And I just think that's a really beautiful thing, and I think it's something that we can all learn from. So I'll leave you with that.
My piece is called Wardi Village. So Wardi is a form of art which originates back in India from a state called Maharashtra. I come from Maharashtra because I'm born and brought up in Maharashtra in Mumbai, which is like Manhattan of India. But this actually portrays, and if you see, I have not used a canvas. It is an odd-shaped wooden piece, a natural piece of wood, because I could have done the same thing on a canvas, or a round canvas, or an oval canvas. But the message over here is that we have to accept what is there in nature in its original form. So I just don't want to leave my baby behind, which is like an abnormal oval piece of wood. But I actually adopted it and changed it into something more pretty and beautiful. And I think that's how the message is that our beloved community should be, where everybody comes in a different shape, size, and color, and we need to be together and be one society, irrespective of where they come from. And if you look at the painting, it is a very simple painting, which is two tones, and it portrays a time when there was no technology, where everybody lived in a small village with natural resources. They grew their own spices, they ground their own spices. They make their own food, they traveled and transported from one place to another without any motor cars or airplanes or anything that is technology or how we live nowadays. So if you look at this painting, you see there's a mother and child walking in the village. There's a snake which depicts that there was no, people were not scared of unknown. They were not scared of going to a jungle to find herbs and medicines in that time and era. So it is a very natural form of living without dependency on technology. It was just dependency on human beings to be with each other, support each other, and just survive, or rather happily live in the resources that the nature has given us. And that's what the message is by using wood for my Warli painting. Thank you so much.
When we come to these kind of events, not only we get a lot of ideas, but a lot of inspiration as well. Like that story was so different, this story was different. You get to hear a lot of stories of people from where they come from, and that itself is a very good experience. And that's why I always bring my kids along with me. Usually there are no children, but I force them to come with me because that's one way of detaching them from their electronics and introducing them to a world of real art with pen, paper, brush, whatever medium you want to work with. But then if you see all this medium is different, and every piece is different, and it is like every individual is different, right? So I think it's a very good platform where people should bring their families as well, and I would inspire, they will also get inspired in some way. One piece can inspire a whole new person or a whole new artist in a way. So I think they should bring their families next time when they come. That's it.